Today we are moving out some of our stocks to the city of Abeokuta. Abeokuta is in Ogun State. That is where some of these wonderful, fast-growing, pure clearance line juvenile seeds are going to today. If you need any of our seedlings, make sure that you contact the number on the screen, and in here we'll make a definite booking for you when you collect your perfect seed. Note that I normally tell this in some of my videos that if you really want to make huge profit in catfish farming, this starts from your seedlings. Where do you get your seedlings from? How do you get your seedlings? And how better is your seedlings? Age really matters most in seedlings, and the most important factors that really develop that you need to look into in knowing if you are getting the right seedlings definitely comes from: number one, the parent stocks, which we normally know as the broodstocks, the management of the broodstocks, the management of the fryers. The management of the broodstocks comprises you understanding the isolation and treatment, cleaning of the broodstocks, equally on how to pick the right broodstocks at a given period. What this means is that not every gravid female fish are broodstocks, and not every matured female broodstock are broodstocks. Let me give you a clear definition on this. If you are getting a broodstocks and you notice that at least sometimes we have 6 month, even 4 month fish, female fish that will be absolutely gravid. To me, if I should check on a female broodstocks and I notice that the month is like 4 month old and it's highly gravid, to me I will pick that such fish aside, because that is a potential broodstocks. So we call it a potential broodstocks, but not a ready to use broodstocks. There is a difference between a potential broodstocks and a ready to use broodstocks. Ready to use broodstocks are broodstocks that you have tested, that you have confirmed that this is absolutely ready for usage. And the potential broodstocks are broodstocks that you need to isolate for a particular given period, isolating them, quarantine them, monitor them very well, monitor based on the feed you are giving them. A potential broodstock should be given a particular percentage of feed, crude percentage of feed, at least for like a year, so that by the time you calculated all the months before you get them at maybe at 4 months, this will be running to like 18 months minimum. So that kind of fish will give you a better and a very good result. And again, there are some broodstocks that if they are already 18 months, and maybe by the time you go to pick them, by that time they are rejuvenating their eggs. That means they have not reached their ovulation period, the heat period for them. Sometimes the broodstocks may be recuperating back their eggs, maybe they have diffused their egg, and maybe through stress or through ovulation this happens, and they are recuperating back a new egg. So that is why sometimes if you press a female broodstock, you will notice some whitish egg coloration that comes out with that particular fish. If you use that fish, that type of fish, I bet you are on chances. You are on 80 to 20 chances. That means 80 for having wrong result and 20 for having good result. And if you are not even careful about this, you will experience a lot of pollution, because you will experience a lot of bad eggs. And if you are not patient, professional enough as a nurture, I bet you definitely you will lose majority, if not all, the fish at that particular time. I don't think you need this, because number one, the stress of you spawning the fishes, one trying to hatch the fishes, the money so far that you have spent maybe on that particular bull stocks, or the money you have used in getting your synthetic hormone, the money you have using in getting other resources in order for you to do the hatchery. But if this kind of a counterfeit or a non-counterfeit occurred, you are going to lose absolutely all that production at that given period. So there's a way of you doing this. There's a way of you doing this. If you think you don't want to go into all these hurdles of making all these things perfect or right, it's better for you to have an experienced usher and get your fishes from them, because there are a lot of things that constituted hatchery. To me, hatchery is not just about you getting brood stocks, injecting brood stock, doing the spawning process, incubating period, and maybe chances, try by error, you have result, and the next time you do it, you don't have result, you try calling out, or maybe you do it one time, two times, you have result. Hatchery is not meant to be. Hatchery is really meant for a patient usher, a diligent usher, and you must be filled with a lot of IQs. IQs in maternity IQ, you need to understand how to take care of the fishes. Even during the massaging, the spawning process, there's a way you do your massaging. If you don't do the massaging very well, you will definitely lose your female broodstock. Yeah, you will definitely lose them out. And if you don't carefully even take to remove or dissect the male broodstocks and removing the milk from them, you will definitely have another challenges. So there's a way of doing this. So, but if you think you don't want to go to all those, going through this stress of you making this reality, make sure that you contact the number on the screen, and in where we bet you, we give you the perfect seedlings you need at this time. So in here we have juvenile pure Claras line juvenile seeds that we are supplying to the city of Abuja. And again, I normally say pure Claras line broodstocks. There are a lot of species of Claras. Generally, we have I've seen about 3 species of broodstocks of catfish, but I normally like using the Claras garipinos, which I normally refer to as the pure Claras line, because if you have the garipinos species of catfish, they do very, very well. They are long, they get fatter. If you are raising an hybrid and you can notice how the growth of hybrid is, that is similarly, if you get a good species of Claras garipinos, you get at least a pile of the same result on those kind of fishes too as well. Their head, you can identify them by their head and by their body, their color. So knowing a very good species of fishes to stock is very, very important at any successful business catfish farmer. So this period is not the period of wastage. It's the period of you focusing. It's the period of you understanding, not wasting your money. Know where you are putting your money, the right place to put your money to get a perfect result. I was telling one of my clients yesterday, while we are discussing this, my client need some order of seedlings, and we are talking about getting a rebate. A rebate means, to me, we are talking about, can you give me a quantity of seedlings, and I will pay half of it, and later I will balance. I have to come out to him that seedlings is not meant to be so. The most important part of catfish farming that takes volume of your capital expenditure are your feed. I think you need to go and talk to them where you go to get the feed for them, because at this present time, if you are getting maybe 10,000 pieces of fish, of seedlings, and you want to grow them to grow out, I bet you we are still talking about something like 40 million, 40 to 15 million on feeding alone. And you are buying this kind of 10,000 pieces of fishes from me. Maybe you are getting it from me for 1 million naira. So why do you need an excuse from me to disturb me? How much am I making on it that you are not willing enough to at least penetrate where you are buying the feed? You get the feed, you pay for the feed, and you want to change me. So it's better for you to go to those people that you want to get the feed from, have a prompt negotiation with them. And I think by this time you may be thinking of reducing some of those factors you think you want to do. And again, I normally tell every farmer, if you don't have the money to raise 1,000 pieces of fishes, it's not a must. Farming is not a competition. I've said this longer period. I've said this at least from my first video. I said this. I have for years. I have done lot of quantity, and I know what it takes me to be, and I know what it takes me to do just 100 pieces of fish. For example, if you are stocking just 100 pieces of fishes and you take care of them very well, I bet you are still going to make money than somebody that stock 1,000 pieces of fishes. Somewhere there may say it's not possible, but I will give you a little definition on how possible it is. For example, if you are running a ponding system of just 100 capacity of fish, and you put them into a capacity that can take a volume of, let me say, 300 to 500 pieces of fishes, and you are feeding them well, because 100 pieces of fishes with this quantity, you will have the money will not be as much as you are stocking 1,000 pieces of fishes. At least you have that money. Let me just say you have 500,000 or you have 1 million. I'm just saying that in your account that you are using to feed. But by the time you put that 1 million on 1,000 fishes, it may not feed them. But if you put that 1 million, you may not finish it. You may just finish maybe 500k. I'm just saying that on 100 pieces alone, and you feed them for 6 months, and you can have an average kilo of 2 kg. So average kilo of 2 kg tells you are having 200 kg of fishes. And if you multiply 200 kg of fishes, maybe you are selling yours as 3,000 naira. So if you multiply by times 3, that will give you an amount of 900,000 naira. That means 100 pieces, just 100 pieces of fishes. But if you have 1,000 pieces of fishes, you put them in an isolated place that can just take 500 pieces, in a quarantine place that doesn't have that much space, or if you put them to a space that can even accommodate 5,000, and you don't have money, you are short feeding them. You are giving them the wrong feed. Wrong feed comes from not giving them the appropriate feed from the start, when they needed protein to grow, to build these deposit tissues, and you are not giving them that appropriate feed at that time. You are getting it wrong at that particular time. So it is advisable. My advice is, do what you think your capacity can do. Catfish farming is not a competition. To me, catfish farming is a business. Me, I run it as a business. I don't do it as competition. If you come to my farm and you meet just only 100 pieces, maybe I go to your farm and I meet maybe 500 pieces of fishes, I will never envy you. I will advise you, can you take care of them? Because by the end of the day, me that I stock just 100 pieces will make profit. You that stock 500 pieces may not make any profit possible. Because number one, if you don't take care of them very well, they will be dropping, they will be dying. Number two, if you don't feed them as when due, they will be dying, they will not grow, they will be stunted, they will not have good weight. But if you can feed them very well from start to finish, they will give you good result. The money you are spending on them, they will double it for you. That's the truth. You may use maybe 400,000 or 300,000 to feed just 100 pieces, and this will give you 900,000. Perfect. I will give you an example of what I just did with 100 fishes, because I normally tell you on this platform that if I want to do a party, maybe 4 months before a party, I normally get some fishes for the party. Because number one, I don't take fishes that I sell in my pond for strangers. I don't give people fish. I don't do I don't use those kind of fishes for party, simply because these are for business. I don't use my business to play. But if I want to give my friend fishes, I normally do another fish in a different pond. So if they come and they say they need fish, if it is not ready, I will tell you my fish is not ready. Come by so time, this is when I can give you fish. And if I want to do party, I don't just go into the pond and pick fishes from the pond. What I do is that I raise a particular fish for that party. And I noticed that anytime I raised fish for a party and I have just 100 pieces in the tank, I bet you by the time I want to do this party, I will be having an average kilo of like 1.2 in those tanks. I bet you I will never want to finish those fishes, because I'll be keeping some of those gravid ones I'll be using for my brood stocks. And by the time I use it for the party, I will still see some to sell. Maybe by the end of the day, I'll still sell some of them for like 60,000 naira. To me, that is how you can make good profit when you are doing catfish farming. So once again, if you need some of our good seedling, perfect seedlings, make sure that you contact the number on the screen. Make your bookings, and we'll tell you when it's ready to supply you. Note, we supply everywhere in Nigeria and outside Nigeria. We supply as far as Ghana, Cameroon. So depending on this particular time, most of the challenges we are having now is because of transportation. But for you that really depend in value, you understand what they call value, quantity. I don't think the money for transportation by the end of the day will be a problem for you, because at the end of the day, we're still going to give you a discount, and we are still going to pal with the transportation cost with you, so that this can get to you as well. So to me, being a catfish farmer is one of the most optimal and the most favorable business you can involve in.